slow things down. You wouldn't be stuck for days. New York City would clean it up in a day or two.
Maybe they've forgotten how to do it, though, in New York City. It's been so long.
Wow. Well, we have an opportunity for snow, maybe in New York City, maybe in the Mid-Atlantic over the weekend. So cross your fingers for the snow lovers.
Adam's going to get his wish. 12
maybe
to 16.
12 to 16, you calling it?
No, no.
We'll sort all those details out, right?
Well, you can go to Threads, send us your comments, and you can share your pics and video with us using the hashtag YesTV.
Yeah, and some
here with the America's Morning Headquarters team.
That's right. The
together.
Weather Channel here going to keep its resolution to keep you covered here from coast to coast.
Yeah, I love that song, New Year's Day by U2. That was one of my favorite ones early on. But you know what? Let's move on because we're making sure that you're ready for the big events in your neighborhood today.
Yeah, all right. Gang back together again, celebrating New Year's Day with you. And there was a lot of fog out there this morning. Hoping you're not feeling foggy. If you got to have fog, this is the way to do it,
Oh, my gosh. And you don't have to go up too high to get above the clouds, right? I mean,
Not
the tops of the buildings
here.
a few hundred feet, and you got clear sky. How cool is that?
That is really
Chicago
nice.
over the weekend.
That's phenomenal. Time lapse is already just great, and then look at this, just takes over the city.
Took it over. Yeah.
Man.
All right, well, hopefully the fog's going the other way today here. And in most spots it is, but we're going to talk about what else is coming your way.
Yes, indeed.
Of snow is what we need here in the Northeast. So we begin with this. This is the stat everyone has been talking about. We have not had an inch of snow in one snowfall in nearly 2 years. New York City. It is not last February, but the February before that we had an inch of snow. I was there for it. I remember it. And I went last year, again, trying to be there for a snowstorm. We just couldn't muster out an inch. Philadelphia, not last January, but the January before. Same thing in Baltimore and D.C. It has been such a long stretch. We just wrapped up our least snowiest year in New York City, in Philadelphia, and I'm sure others as well. We look at where we're starting this season, below average, and it's not surprising that we're below average and haven't had much snow along the I-95. We get a lot of our snow in January or February, typically, but we are really significantly below average in Buffalo and Syracuse and Erie, running about 30 inches behind in all of these spots, and even to the north where we had a lot of snow. It seemed like across Vermont and even northern Maine here, we're still running below average here, at least by a little bit. Now, a little bit out there right now. It's still snowing in Pittsburgh. We've had some snow around Cleveland this morning, but it's very light. Not a big snowstorm, just a little bit of light snow that is falling out there. Temperatures have been hovering around the freezing mark there in Pittsburgh, so there could be some slick spots. You remember, even a light coating of snow is slippery, and oftentimes that's when it surprises you on the roadways. Today, we're heading up to 40 in Pittsburgh. We'll probably mix in a few raindrops in with that snow. Charleston heading up to 36. Snow showers will be ending soon, and we're looking at a little bit of rain coming through the D.C. area, Baltimore. That might mean a few airport delays. We'll keep an eye on that. But look, this is not a big weather system that should create massive problems for you traveling for today. Let's fast forward to midweek. We do have a little system swinging through that will help bring us perhaps some light interior snow. I'll tell you, it's a kind of just a little dip in the jet stream. Not going to have a ton of moisture with it. Temperatures are going to be running either near or maybe even a little below average this week. So it's not that it won't be cold enough. It's just that there won't be a lot to make it snow. So be lake enhanced, I think, mainly. And those areas are those spots that get into the 1 to 3 inches of snow. Models are slightly different in how much. DFS has a little bit more. But either way, it's still not a big blockbuster event. Again, that's the midweek storm is just a little storm that's swinging on through. Just to give you a closer view of what's going to happen in Buffalo, this is midweek. Again, you can see the south towns get into it a little bit more, all depending on that wind direction, because this really will be, I think, a lake enhanced event to see who gets the most snow out of this. And again, by most, it's about 1 to 3 inches, Alex.
Yeah, that's all we can muster up.
Well, advisories that are up today here, spreading down the coast, and you'll see that down through Malibu. Some bigger waves still coming in here. Then we get a brief break, but then we've got another series of storms yet to come in, spreading all the way down the west coast. So first up, Malibu. We do have some rain coming our way here, and especially Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see those rain chances, perhaps rain late in the day or into the evening Tuesday night over into early on Wednesday morning. Now let's look to see what is coming our way. So we've got one system today, which is actually heading up into the Gulf of Alaska. A lot of the energy there, but we'll see that front kind of sweep through, bring us some moisture. couple of systems lined up beyond that, and those are going to spend a little more time over the Pacific. You're gearing up, bringing in a little bit more moisture as they make their way in here mid to the latter part of the week. So we see the forecast for rainfall, and yes, it is up and down the entire West Coast. We're going to see a lot of this pointed right here at Oregon, Northern California. That's where we have some of the biggest moisture coming in, inches of rain, and then mountain snow adding up too. That second system that comes in will be a bit colder, so we'll have those snow level chances, those chances for the snow levels to be dropping just a little bit more. So first round comes in Tuesday and Wednesday. We see the rain spreading all the way down, yes, back into LA by the time we get Wednesday at midday, then into your Thursday, Friday. Next system pushes into the Pacific Northwest. Here we go with this one dropping in. Again, more moisture with this as we get you into your Sunday time frame, spreading all up and down the entire West Coast and then all through the interior as well. So we're talking about inches of rain with the combination of both of these. And then we're talking about perhaps 1.5 feet to maybe even 2 feet of snow coming in. And again, that second system brings in even more cold air. So we'll drop those snow levels, maybe even down to valley locations here around the Reno and Lake Tahoe area. Then what happens after this, Greg? Let's track it coast to coast. Man, the year is starting off busy.
It is. I mean, we kind of do, right? Because
I feel like we are. I was looking back at last year. I couldn't really note any big winter storm that I went to cover. No big one, right? There's small things.
Yeah. It was a pretty tranquil year in terms of blockbuster systems.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Mother Nature's working on it.
Right, exactly.
And so we're going to start the year the way we ended it, which is asking you how and what are...
No, they're everywhere. Alex, I think Jen and I are the minority.
She wished for snow.
You are
I'm in the
by
minority.
yourself.
I'm in the extreme minority here. Yes, I think I'm alone. I don't want to deal with any snow. I love covering it.
Just like one storm.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Just one
live in
storm.
it. It would just be kind of like dipping your toes in it.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
You know, like 3 days.
Too much.
One day it snows, the next 2 days you can't get out, and then after that
and then
you're done.
fine.
If you can guarantee me that, and then it's sunny and 70.
I don't know about guarantees.
There's no guarantees in the weather. You can go to Threads, send us your comments, and share your pics and videos with us using the hashtag YesTV, and we will share it up.
Wow. All right. Well, let's talk about making it through this travel holiday, right? We've gotten to the end of the holiday travels here on this New Year's Day. I guess maybe for the rest of the week, folks, this will be kind of navigating traveling. The good news is, here for this early week, we aren't expecting any big-time headaches.
No. I mean, you know, we have a little bit of weather today in the Northeast here, a little bit of snow, a little bit of light rain, maybe a wintry mix for some. It's not a huge weather maker. I don't want you to discount it, because that's when you run into trouble, when you think, well, the roads aren't going to be slippery. It's 33. Well, the bridge might be 32. You know, I mean, there's
Exactly. Yeah, the overconfidence in wintry weather is just not a good situation.
In life in general, you know?
That's a good point. Yeah,
Good lesson, Alex.
So yeah, just be careful here where we do have some of those snow showers showing up in sections of the interior Northeast.
Yeah, that may mean a few delays. Perhaps de-icing, departure delays could be one issue that we could find. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of the country looking pretty good now.
That's what we like to hear. Here's what it looks like on the radar picture. We got some clouds there with a mixture of sun and clouds around Boston, but Pittsburgh is where we're finding some of those lighter snow showers around.
Our temperature has been steadily creeping up. We're heading up to 40 degrees, so it'll probably be a rain-snow mix for us here. Again, fairly light, but again, those light events are the ones that can sneak up on you, so be careful. Western Pennsylvania down through West Virginia. And
if you're looking for any airport delays, you may find some there throughout parts of the mid-Atlantic, but this is not going to be a situation where you're stuck at the airport for 5-6 hours. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, looking good in the south as well. I was checking in on FAA's notes for the day, and mainly volume, I think, in South Florida might be one of the only issues, so just watching out for that. Otherwise, weather, we have a little bit of rain in southern Louisiana, most of it offshore.
Yeah, and so if it stays offshore, I think we should be okay along that Interstate 10 corridor. That's a zone that should be just fine here for the day. Now, things change a bit as we go from today. Again, south of I-10, a bit of rain, but by tomorrow, we're going to expand the area in terms of the coverage of rain across Texas. Heads up there, 35, 45, 10 as well. Watching in 20 for that risk for some rain and maybe even some rumbles of thunder.
I mean, tomorrow's back to reality. You're back to work. Maybe not all the kids back to school just yet, but some are. And, well, you're back to adding some weather into the mix out here, too, across Texas. So get ready for some slow times. It was nice driving to work today. No traffic.
Oh, it was joyous. I got here in record time.
I did, too.
I said, man, why did I leave so early? But yeah.
I left late thinking about that, actually. It worked out.
It sure did. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Well, don't forget
The music, I'm so sorry.
the music makes it tough sometimes to concentrate.
I know it does. It's so good. Thanks, Dwayne. We are watching though. There's kind of minor systems today with a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, but it's really the end of the week that's going to have a lot of us talking.
It will, and it's the kind that we haven't seen in a while. As you guys were mentioning, we haven't had a big winter storm, and the kind that we're maybe looking at is going to not just be a winter side of it, but also maybe severe weather side to it as well. A whole lot to talk about. I'm sure it's going to get real busy.
All right, well, first things first, let's track what we've got to deal with here for now. And yeah, we got some, as you mentioned, some snow showers.
A little.
Snizzle here for us, and maybe beneficial rains.
Yeah, we'll get some this week here, and kind of like what you were talking about, Alex. We're sort of easing into 2024 with some light systems. This one brings rain in Tuesday night into Wednesday here in New Orleans. We'll have some rain chances coming your way. An inch or two is possible as we watch the system cross over through the south. We have a lot going on in the west. You see all of that over the Pacific Ocean, but we also have this little guy here that's spinning just off the coast of the southwest right now. So let's keep an eye on first these two, I'm going to call them minor systems that we've got coming through. One little trough swings over into the northeast. This system swings back down across the south here. Two branches of the jet stream we'll be watching. The southern branch just always seems to be taking over lately, right? That's the El Nino influence. And so we'll see that with the rain coming back here through Texas midweek, rain moving through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. We get rain showers moving right through Georgia. Again, this is all through the middle to the later part of the week. And then we really have to watch how this all evolves into the weekend there across the northeast here. That's a whole other separate conversation, which we will be having today and throughout the entire week. But just focusing on the midweek system, we've got rain coming our way to San Antonio and Austin, Houston, some rain as well, New Orleans, rain. And again, well placed. We need the rainfall still. Just because the calendar resets, the drought monitor does not. We still look at a extreme to exceptional drought through Louisiana, Mississippi, and into Tennessee. Most of the state actually could use the precip. Your clouds might bring some rain, and those around the Lake Tahoe area, we could be looking at some snow this week.
Yes, and I mean, significant snow maybe on the way here for us. Something that we haven't seen a ton of so far, but some changes are on the way.
The big difference is the fact that we're going to have more cold air by the end of the week.
Yes, that's going to be the key. We've seen the systems coming through, but they've just been warmer systems, so the snow levels have been way, way up there, and we just haven't seen a ton of getting a chance to add up. That changes here for us. Now, in San Francisco, it's not going to be a snowy time. It's going to be wet times for us with a break here and there.
Here. There's no
exactly.
there.
There's no there.
Just one break. So if you're waiting to maybe decide when you're going to clean up all your outside decorations, Thursday's your day. Let things dry out to about midday and then get them down because we're back in the rain again. And you know what? January 6th is the day you're supposed to have everything down.
That is the day officially, right? Got to get them down.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about why this is all happening. We've got systems that are lined up out there. One that's going to be coming on through early week, and then another one that's right on its heels, and a lot of moisture for these systems to tap into here over the coming days.
Yeah, I was reading the Weather Service discussion out of Reno, Nevada, talking about this system coming in, the one at the end of the week, has a lot of residence time over the Pacific Ocean. So it's going to spend some time picking up the moisture.
Now, this forecast here basically takes us to the midweek, but we're going to be talking about more activity beyond this time frame. So what you see here in terms of the colors that are shading out there, not as dark or impressive as what we will eventually see through the weekend.
Yes, all right. So we'll take you through the week here, and we've got our first set of storminess that comes in Monday into Tuesday. That spreads down the coast. We do get some rain down through the Bay Area, down through Los Angeles, even out of it here, but it's not the biggest system of the week.
No, not quite. Another one coming in here for us as we get into Friday evening. Now, that'll be one that has a little bit more moisture to work with as we work our way on through the weekend. So overall now, here's a look at what we've got through Sunday, and now you're starting to see some of the deeper colors showing up out there, particularly in the higher terrain when we start talking about that snow adding up, not just a few inches, but how about some feet?
Yes. How about the moisture and the energy from these things move east? What happens to that? Well, that's where Greg Postel picks it up.
Yeah, Jen, Alex, I think a stormy time is coming for us, especially.
But that was a good wish for this year.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Good weather for the eclipse.
Yeah.
If we could only forecast cloud cover like 4 months.
You got to book up. You got to book a place to stay.
We'd all be on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, we would make obnoxious amounts of money. There's no doubt.
We'll keep those comments coming. You can share your pics and video, too, using the hashtag YesTV, and we will share them on the show.
All right, well, coast to coast.
That's right, and that includes making sure you're ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Guys, it's good to all be back together.
It's been a long time. I did the count. 11 days, 11 work week days since we've all been together.
Wow.
Hopefully we'll have 11 straight. At least, right? No, somebody taking a weekend. I feel like someone's getting. No, I'm not taking a day off until. Oh, that's right.
I don't know when actually.
Yeah, it's the new year. You know, back to the grind, as one of my kids said. A lot of you had some fog this morning outside. Now, maybe it was like the feel after last night, or maybe it was actual weather, which this was Chicago yesterday. I mean, look, over the weekend, look at this.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Maybe it was the fireworks, the smoke from the fireworks. They were going off like crazy last night.
It was like a 4th of July.
Worse.
It was right outside my window, essentially, and I just saw the flashes, like reflecting off the wall inside after midnight. I couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it wasn't that cold? I mean, it was January.
Here in Atlanta?
You know,
that's a good point.
In a lot of spots, it wasn't super cold.
Yeah, so you can kind of get out and enjoy your time and fire them up for as long as you had them available until you burn them all out.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's way.
It was like 3, 4 in the morning. Good stuff. Well, today's
had some snow, but we've not had much, and we've not had more than an inch in one setting here in New York City in nearly 2 years. In Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C., same deal. You have to go back to not last February, but the February before for New York City. For these other three, not last January, but the January before for 1 inch of snow in one setting. In fact, we just wrapped up our least snowiest year on record in Philadelphia, in New York City, and likely others as well. It's just been a snow drought, you know, and it's not unusual to get through December, not have a lot of snow. We are running a little behind here. It's a little more unusual to not have a lot of snow across western New York, central New York. I mean, look at Syracuse. We are more than 30 inches behind in snowfall. And I think a big driver of this, even Pittsburgh and Erie, is that it just hasn't been that cold. So we really haven't gotten the lake effect here, and that's been one part of the story. There is a little bit of snow out there today. We saw it on the tower cam in Pittsburgh. Temperature sitting right at 32 degrees. There may be some slick spots, you know, as that little bit of snow that you have is coming down here, especially bridges and overpasses. They could be slippery if temperatures still hover around the freezing mark. We're expecting them to go up to about 40 degrees today. Same thing for you in Charleston, West Virginia. There may be a few rain showers scooting through the D.C. and Baltimore areas. It should be dry. The rest of us here in the Northeast looking overall pretty good for travel. Again, the precip that we have is pretty light, and we're not anticipating any major airport delays at all here. So good news for your travel back home here on New Year's Day. Now let's look at your midweek system, because this next system coming in will bring a little bit of a snow chance here. Just a little trough in the atmosphere, swings over across the lakes. Will be some lake-enhanced snowfall that we'll see. It does get a little colder this week. Not super cold, but temperatures are either running at or maybe a little below average. That'll bring us some snow chances here. South Towns, Buffalo, maybe a couple of inches. GFS model has a little bit more coming in off the Tug Hill Plateau, but both of these here are fairly minor. And I mentioned Buffalo. Just want to give you a quick closer view of what could happen. This is Wednesday, so Wednesday will be the day to watch for just a little bit of light snow accumulation, like 1, 2, 3 inches here. Let's jump south here, because we also have some foot breakers here into Southern California, including down through Malibu, where we have a high surf advisory. So this is through today. Last day of this, we get a break, but then there's another series of storms coming in. Malibu, we've got some rain chances Tuesday into Wednesday. You see that Tuesday night into Wednesday. Temps are going to be hovering there in the upper 50s for you on Wednesday. It's busy. I mean, the storm train is lined up and ready to go, and it really just hasn't ended across the Pacific Ocean. So one system, with the bulk of it today moving up into the Gulf of Alaska, that front does push in the next few days. Then beyond that, there's another system that's going to be hanging out over the Pacific for a while before it comes in, just kind of garnering up moisture. And it's going to be a bit colder as well, too. So that one, I think, will bring a bit more punch to the Pacific Northwest. A lot of rain in the forecast. You can see up and down the entire West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California, then spreading in here through Nevada into even northern Arizona and Utah. We'll get some snow out of this as we watch this next series of storms come on in. First stop, though, is the rain that comes in into Tuesday. That swings down into Wednesday. There's your Malibu rain. rain coming in, might be overnight Wednesday with a lot of it, or Tuesday into Wednesday morning. And then we look at that next big series of storms coming in end of the week into the weekend. This one, more moisture to work with. This one has more cold air to work with as well, and that could be dropping some snow levels here, maybe down below about, 4,500 feet, maybe a little bit lower. That might affect I-5 at the Grapevine here. Something to keep an eye on here. It's a possibility as we get towards the end of the week. 3 to 5 inches of rain in coastal Oregon, Northern California. We'll have the snow, of course, piling up as well. And snow levels, again, will be colder with the second half of the week system. So we'll get snowfall 18 to 24 feet, and this will be an impact snow. I-80 travelers, heads up as you get towards the end of the week. Make sure the snow tires are on your cars. Greg.
Yeah, Jen.
There's a lot of excitement about what could happen at the end of the week. Weekend and beyond. But I'd say we're still a week out, and there's still a lot of uncertainty.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Who gets snow, how much, a little bit, and you get a stormy pattern no matter how you slice it.
Yeah. Like those old pictures. You used to have to blur your eyes to see the image. That's what we're doing with the models right now.
That's kind of what you have to do at this range. Yeah.
This far out, right. But every day we'll be talking more about that.
Well, we start the year. Oh, all right.
I have some of that. I could bring it in more often.
Tomorrow.
There you go. Tomorrow will be.
Purple and
I didn't know
brown.
until after I got dressed this morning and I read, the what to look for in the new year.
So you're already hip to the game. I like it.
Look at that, Alex. You didn't even know.
It's natural.
It comes to Alex naturally. Yes.
Oh, the threads. Send us your comments, your New Year's resolutions, your weather wishes, and we will share a few as we head on through the show. Positive news there. Well, positive for travelers here on this January 1st, your New Year's Day, if you're using it to travel. Is it a busy travel day? I know most of the holidays themselves tend to be lack of a lot of people traveling. Yeah. Is New Year's one of those days?
I think it's like certainly bigger than Christmas.
Yeah.
But every day is a big travel day anymore.
That's true.
Even the low days are still
That's a good point.
Are busy. I mean, everyone's traveling.
Everyone is traveling. Overbooked flights, you name it.
The roads are packed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, one thing that can help us out when we are traveling is when Mother Nature cooperates, and I think that's going to happen here for the day. Couple of spots here and there, but even in those areas, don't expect big headaches. There
might be a few flight delays in the Northeast. You haven't seen any major problems. And maybe some de-icing and departures that might make you feel like you're having some slow travel, but that's this time of year kind of take it into account anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some of those lighter snow showers showing up in parts of Pennsylvania, into portions of West Virginia as well. But it's all fairly light. But we were talking about this earlier. Even though it's light, you still want to take your time, take it slow when you're talking this kind of precip.
Yeah, that's when you tend to, forget that you have to be careful. When it's like, oh, this is no big deal. And that's when you make a mistake. So be careful out there. Western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, that's where the snow is still falling. And temperatures have only creeped up to 33 in Pittsburgh. So I'm sure there are slick spots out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, farther south, this is an area that's mostly going to be on the quiet side. We do see right along the Gulf Coast, maybe southern Louisiana, the chance for some wet weather out there. But a lot of that has really pushed its way offshore in the northern Gulf.
Yeah, New Orleans has not been reporting rain. Baton Rouge has not been reporting rain. Lake Charles, there's a few showers and a little more clouds in the area, but honestly, not much in the way of rainfall.
Not at all. So that 10 quarter, I think you'll be okay. Certainly 20. That's an area that will avoid any wet weather here for today. So today might be a good day for traveling here for you along parts of the south. Tomorrow, different story.
Back to life, back to reality, back to work. You've got the rain back, I-20, I-10, 35, all going to be impacted in Texas with rainfall.
Well, don't forget our question of today. You did. That was quick.
Taking pictures, too many. It's time to take it the distance with the T-Mobile coast-to-coast forecast here, and we'll take you across the country throughout the week, starting today here. Little system bringing us a little snow into western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and that's really the biggest deal we got.
Yeah, this is a really quiet Monday, quiet New Year for us. Nothing that really stands out. There's nothing that's just bitterly cold. It's not too hot in here. It's just kind of okay.
It's nice January. Even some sun peeking out in the Northeast. That's nice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take it because it can get dreary at this time of the year.
It can be.
By tomorrow, we start to see there's that wet weather getting going there in Texas, and that's only going to spread east for the remainder of the week.
All right, so we'll watch that spread inland, and so now we've got some snow in Nevada, maybe all the way down through Arizona, Phoenix, rain showers perhaps. We'll get some snow maybe towards Flagstaff by Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep, that inches its way across the Four Corners region there, so heads up in parts of Colorado and New Mexico. Maybe a mixture of rain and snow. And then notice here by Friday as that ekes makes its way into the middle of the country, watch out there. Maybe into parts of Oklahoma, a little bit of a wintry mix here and there. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Meanwhile, there's another system in the northwest here. So this one has even more moisture and a little more cold air to work with as well. So that swings in at the same time our system in the east is taking shape.
That's starting to crank up a little bit here. Heads up in the Ohio River Valley and into the northeast as we move into Sunday.
Flying around. It's really just mood snow.
Yes.
Get you in the mood a little bit more. Maybe not.
Priming us for what may be to come down the road.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to get real stormy, I think, in a couple of ways. I think there's going to be at least 2 systems over the next week to 10 days we have to contend with, bringing very impactful weather. Some of us to the mid-Atlantic, let's say over the weekend, with maybe significant snow. And then the next one, early next week, bringing maybe significant snow to the Midwest. So with both of them, maybe some chance of severe weather. It's all there.
Yeah, no, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's a busier storm track than we've seen in quite a while, too.
Right.
And so that's the thing. The West has been very busy, but most of the systems have not made their way all the way across.
Right.
That's what's changing.
It's changing.
We'll change for 2024. All right. Well, let's talk first things first and what's going on right now. And, yeah, some of those lighter snow showers that we're seeing across portions of the bound. Some rain to think about.
A little bit of rain coming in, too. And again, as we get through the week, there's a lot more happening in the atmosphere here. But this is kind of the primer. A little rain coming our way Tuesday night into Wednesday in New Orleans. And yes, you have some rain chances today, but most of that is pretty far south here. This will wet all the roads and give us a decent soaking with 1 to 2 inches of rain in southeastern Texas, southern Louisiana. Pretty widespread area of rain chances, but all along that I-20 corridor, all the way from Texas straight through the south into South Carolina. So we've got a lot of widespread chances of rain coming in as we get through the end of the week. And some of that does get heavy, especially getting into the weekend. Now, let's look at what's happening in the west, because these are the systems that come all the way across the coast. One little system, this guy right here, is going to scoot on through. We do have another system moving up into the Gulf of Alaska. That front's going to push into the west. So let's watch everything. And there is a disturbance up here to the north, which is going to be moving east too, moving over the Great Lakes about midweek. And that'll bring you some light snow chances up there as we get into midweek. In the south, watching this system, it's about the Gulf moisture returning. Here comes our surface low. Rain comes through. By the end of the week, it's all the way heading through the northeast. And we'll be keeping an eye on all the players that come together by the end of the week that will affect us from the southeast to the northeast. Stay tuned for that. There's a lot to come with that. In the meantime, some rain chances midweek.
Wow.
Lots of excitement.
Lots. We got to talk a bit about this.
Okay.
Has New Year eclipsed July 4th when it comes to fireworks?
In the backyard, it seems like
It definitely seemed like it in my hood.
those were all necessary fireworks. I thought those were beautiful displays, a great way to ring in the new year. But do you need to do them in your backyard or your driveway or wherever?
Well, yeah, you know my answer.
Mine too. Unnecessary.
Ringing in the new year, though, doing some cloud spotting on the west coast. Seattle's clouds, they may bring some rain, while those around Lake Tahoe, might be holding some snow.
Yes. A lot to talk about here with the West. It stays active. I mean, you guys have had nonstop weather over the end of 2023, and it really doesn't end as you look at 2024.
No, here it is. The forecast in San Francisco, there's a lot of rainy icons showing up. The exception, though, hey, we do get a break on Thursday.
That's your day to get all your outdoor decorations in.
Yes.
I mean, but you need 2 days because you need 1 full day to let them dry out, really.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So it might be tough getting those decorations down there in parts of the West Coast because, again, several systems lining up to have an impact on us here as we work from basically this early week and beyond, and they'll have a decent amount of moisture to tap into.
Especially that second set that comes in at the end of the week here. That's going to have a lot of residence time over the Pacific Ocean before it comes in. So just garnering up the moisture. It's also going to be a colder system.
That's right. So a little bit more snow getting a chance to add up out there in some of the lower elevations. So snow levels coming down from where they have previously been. They've been way up there. I mean, the peaks of these mountains, and even in those spots, the snow amounts haven't been that much.
Yeah. For the first time, you're going to have to think about you driving. And, even on the 5 down through the Grapevine. By the weekend, we could be looking at some snow chances coming in there. There's a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye on these. Again, the several systems coming through. They drive into not just to the west, but to the interior areas as well, getting involved in some of this snow that'll add up. So we've got parts of Utah, into Colorado, the Four Corners region essentially, and maybe even Southern California mountains could get in on some of this too.
Yeah. Now, all of this will eventually cross the country, and we're going to see a lot of active weather along the way. ending at the East Coast. So, Greg, take us through that.
Yeah, we're working on it, Jen and Alex. We're trying to.
But that was a good wish for this year.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Good weather for the eclipse.
Yeah.
If we could only forecast cloud cover like 4 months.
You got to book up. You got to book a place to stay.
We'd all be on a beach somewhere.
Yeah,
we
we would make obnoxious amounts of money. There's no doubt.
We'll keep those comments coming. You can share your pics and video too using the hashtag YesTV, and we will share them on the show.
All right.